Hi, I'm Marcus, and welcome to this week's edition of our video blog here at Michles II. I want to talk to you about lawyer advertising today. And that's okay, you can admit it, you can't get enough of us in our ads. In truth, there's so much of it, it's just hard to cut through it all. And as a business, we want to get our name out there, we want to get our words out there and try to get the business that keeps us going. But a lot of people don't realize in Florida how regulated the process is, and it's really become kind of a pain in the neck, not only as a business person, but as a lawyer. And you know, it may just be me, but doesn't it seem like there's more and more kind of tough guy lawyer advertising, kind of a righteous indignation, kind of I'm going to beat you up kind of thing, and I'm for justice and good versus evil. Okay, that could be. I guess if you look around my office, you'll see where I've been. You can read my biography and understand my background. I played a lot of rugby and I was in the military, and so I know a little bit about physical conflict. Very little of that has anything to do, however, in my 27-year career as a lawyer. It's a lot more about brains than it is about brawn. So when I see these sort of tough guy, I'm going to beat you up commercials, I wonder if really that's the message we should be sending. Not that I'm the moral conscience of our profession, but I can tell you this. The Florida bar regulates advertising, in my opinion, in all of the wrong ways. It's really concerned about the word choices, and it's really concerned about dumbing the ad down to where you really can't say anything, and less about monitoring the conduct of certain lawyers and the way they present themselves and the images they portray. Living here in the Panhandle, Florida lawyers suffer a tremendous disadvantage in that lawyers that are just over the border, if they practice in Mobile or in Alabama, are not subject to the same rules that govern advertising. So you can turn on your television and you can see a list of ads from certain lawyers that have no regulation, and then at the same time other lawyers that have tremendous regulation. Just about every commercial I've ever made, or just about every advertisement I've ever made, has not only been approved, had to be submitted to the Florida bar, but I had to pay them to review it. And then they kind of mess with it a little bit, and at the end of the day, the commercial ends up sounding like everybody else's, and that's why you look at the ads and you hate them so much. They really don't tell you anything. The thing that I would tell people about shopping for a lawyer is this. You have less information to compare professional services than you do when selecting a washing machine. And if you want to select a washing machine, you can read about how many cycles it has and how much capacity it has. You can read empirical data that allows you to compare that one washing machine to another washing machine. But how are you going to compare me and my services to another lawyer? You can't look up my miles per gallon or my 0 to 60 time, what my resale value is. There's no popular mechanics formula for measuring lawyers. So there's no substitute for the very simple fundamental, and that is your instinct. Sit down with the lawyer that you are considering. Sit down with the law firm that you are considering. Take the time to interview that lawyer and find out whether they are the right fit for you. Now, I can't say that in yesterday's case that I resolved, I can't measure that case against the lawyer down the street who would have a different case. I can't measure apples to apples in terms of my results. It's very difficult to do. Ask your lawyer simple fundamental questions. When was the last time he took a case to a trial and got a jury verdict in a case like yours? It's a simple question. Ask him the name of that case. It's public record. It's not a conflict of interest. It's not a divulgence of client confidence. It's filed in the courthouse. It's a public record. Ask them when the last time they went to the courthouse was and tried a case to a jury like yours. Now, don't misunderstand me. Not all cases go to trial. That's true. Very few actually go to trial. It's a very low percentage. But if you can't ultimately fight that case out in the courtroom, the insurance company doesn't have any real incentive to make you a fair offer before you get to the courtroom. So all that tough talk and all that, righteous indignation and I'm going to beat up the insurance company, yeah, it's fun to do. It's fun to say. But ask that lawyer when the last time was he beat that insurance company up in the courtroom. And you know what? Go online. The index to the court pleading is right there. Find out which law firm filed which lawsuit. If you're considering lawyer A, and lawyer A is in a law firm, you can go to the county clerk's website and search by that lawyer's name, and you can see how many cases they have filed in the courthouse. You can see how many cases they've won or lost in the courthouse. You can do your homework. And you know what? You can ask the lawyer to do that homework for you. Now, they'll have a lot of explanations, perhaps, as to why they don't go to the courthouse. One of the great ones is they get to settle those cases. They settle cases. They don't have to go to the courthouse because they're getting fair offers for all their clients. Well, mathematically, at some point, you have to ask yourself, if you represent 50 clients and none of those cases end up at the courthouse, you got fair offers in 50 out of 50 cases? Kind of unlikely, right? The laws of mathematics and probability would probably lead you to conclude one or two of those. Certainly there was a dispute about the value, right? My point is this: lawyer advertising has a place. It probably needs regulation to a certain degree. We get a lot of it. We get a lot of regulation. Okay, so we deal with that. When you see these lawyers' advertisements, though, ask yourself, how easy is it to say those things? And what verification is offered for those things? Here's the thing. At Michles & Booth, we've been in business a long time. We've represented our clients one at a time as best we can. When there's fighting to be done, we roll our sleeves up and we do the fighting. I worked for a gentleman named Colonel von Dietrich once who had a great way of putting it, and he said, every day we don't go to war gives us one more day to sharpen our hatchets, boys. So the better you are at trying cases and the more experienced you are in the courthouse directly impacts the likelihood that an insurance company will make a reasonable offer to our clients. We look at every case with that particular client's best interest in mind. We have lots of ads, lots of advertisements. They're really just a way of saying, hey, we're here. We'd like to help you if you need our help, if we're the right law firm for you. And that's not true in every instance, and that's not true in every case. Come back next week. I'm going to talk about conflict of interest and what a big lie that really is to the public. Conflict of interest is pretty easily defined, but it's something that lawyers throw out there when they really don't want to handle the case, and they really don't want to tell you you don't have a very good case. So until next week, I'm Marcus Michles at Michles & Booth. Thanks.